The film Serenity, 2019, is a mystery thriller centered on Dill, a fisherman stranded on the seemingly idyllic but isolated Plymouth Island. Its story revolves around a mysterious island where a man named Dill is stranded. He tries to figure out how and when he arrived on this island, as there is no way to get out. The film's story begins, and we see Dill, the protagonist of this story. Dill has a boat and is very passionate about fishing. Dill lives on an island called Plymouth. To earn money, he often takes tourists out for fishing. Dill would set the rods for them, and the tourists would catch the fish themselves, which made them very happy. In return, Dill would receive some money. Today, Dill and his partner Duke are with two tourists who have paid for a fishing trip. But today, something different happens. When a fish comes near, Dill refuses to hand the rod to his client. Actually, Dill has been trying to catch a specific tuna fish for a long time, and today he might finally catch it. The tourists become angry when he won't give them the rod, but Dill silences them by showing them a knife. Unfortunately, despite all his efforts, the tuna fish escapes. Now they have to return the tourists' money. Although this wasn't a big deal for Dill, Duke was very disappointed because he needed the money to pay his granddaughter's university fees. Dill promises him he will get him the money. Afterward, he goes to meet his friend, Diana. Diana gives him some money when he spends time with her. Dill asks her about her son. He was also very fond of boats and fishing. Actually, Dill wanted to let Duke go so he could find work somewhere that paid him better. Later, Dill goes to a bar. During a conversation with the bartender, we learn that the people here know even the smallest things about each other. The bartender mentions that Dill has tried to catch that fish 4 times and suggests he should name it. Dill says its name is Justice. At night, Dill goes to give Duke the money and tells him they will go back out to sea tomorrow. Duke asks how many clients they are taking. Dill tells him they will go alone because he wants to catch that fish at any cost. Duke doesn't feel this is the right decision, as it will cost them money. That night, when Dill is at home, he remembers his son, Patrick, who now lives with his ex-wife after their divorce. Patrick was also very fond of fishing, like his father. The next day, he and Duke take the boat out to sea. Despite waiting all day, they fail to catch the fish, which leaves Dill very disappointed. Upon returning, he tells Duke, "You are bad luck. Your luck has been terrible ever since your wife died." Hearing this, Duke feels terrible and angrily takes his belongings and leaves. However, Dill had done this on purpose, so Duke would find a job elsewhere. That night, when he goes to the bar, the bartender tries to convince him to give up his obsession with the fish, but Dill doesn't listen. Just then, Karen comes to meet him. She is actually Dill's ex-wife. Dill knew she had come here for a reason. After taking her onto his boat, he asks her, "What do you want from me?" Their conversation reveals that Dill was previously in the army and quit his job for some reason. Karen says, "You were right, and I was wrong." After divorcing Dill, Karen married Frank. Frank was a rich man, but not a good person. He would beat Karen and constantly monitor her. His madness has intensified. Dill asks her about their son, Patrick, and Karen starts to cry. She says Patrick is always terrified, stays in his room, and plays games on his computer all day so he doesn't have to hear the fighting. His teachers say he is brilliant, but he is now very quiet and withdrawn. Dill tells her to divorce Frank. Karen says, "I can't do that. He will kill me." That is why she came here. She actually wanted her and Dill to kill Frank together. She would bring him onto the boat under the pretext of fishing, and she was even willing to give him $10 million for the job. But Dill refuses, because he doesn't want to kill anyone. After Karen leaves, a man in a suit comes looking for Dill. He had been watching Dill for several days, but failed to meet him. The next morning, when Dill goes swimming in the sea, he hears his son's voice and for a moment sees his face. Meanwhile, we hear Frank and Karen shouting at each other. We see Patrick in his room, indicating a connection between the father and son. Frank, Karen's husband, arrives at the hotel where Karen was staying. Seeing him, Karen panics because he was supposed to arrive 2 days later. As soon as he arrives, he begins to torture Karen. The next day, Dill goes to a local shop to buy fishing equipment. The woman working there tells him that people are talking about Frank beating his wife with a belt for an hour, and Karen didn't make a sound. Dill leaves without discussing it. When he reaches his boat, he sees Frank waiting for him with Karen. Frank says, "My wife told me you won't take us fishing." Dill says, "I violated some rules, so I can't take anyone on the boat alone." Frank says, "On this small island, the law yields to money, so don't worry about it." But Dill still refuses. Then Frank says, "Every man has a price. I will come here tomorrow, and you will take me fishing." After this, he starts to leave. Meanwhile, the same unknown man approaches Dill to talk to him, but Dill leaves without listening. The man checks his watch and says, "I'm 20 seconds late. Something is wrong." Later, Dill goes to sell a fish, where Carlos tells him someone was looking for him, but Dill isn't interested. Then he goes to return Diana's cat, which was lost. Diana says, "I heard Karen asked you for help. You are a good person. I think you should help her." After leaving there, Duke comes to meet him. He says, "Frank is going to give you $50,000 for just one tour. I need to pay my granddaughter's fees. You should accept his offer." Dill asks, "Why should I listen to you?" Duke says, "I know why you did what you did, kicking Duke out, but I don't need your mercy. I need your help." Now Dill agrees to help Duke. Later, Karen comes to meet Dill again. Dill says, "I will only take him fishing. I am not going to kill him." Karen says, "He will kill me and Patrick. I know you talk to him. He can hear you through his computer. You two are connected." Dill does not reply to her. Later, when he and Duke are at sea, Dill speaks his mind, saying that he feels something is wrong here. While fishing, Dill asks Frank if he has children. Frank says, "I have a stepson. I tried very hard to befriend him, but he stays on his computer all day. His math teacher says he's a genius, but he wastes all his time on a useless game where a man fishes all day. He doesn't like me." Dill asks, "Why does he hate you so much?" Frank says, "I don't know, but one day I will kill him." Hearing this, Dill gets angry, but before he can do anything, a huge shark hooks onto their line, and they become busy trying to catch it. After returning, Dill says they will go again tomorrow. Karen gets a chance to talk, and again offers Dill to kill Frank. Karen says that Patrick also wants this. Hearing this, Dill is lost in thought. Duke also overheard their conversation. He asks Dill, "Do you know those people?" Dill says, "She is my ex-wife. During my time in the army, I went to a war. When I returned, I found out she had gone to Frank." Duke advises him that no matter the circumstances, he should not kill anyone. That night, Dill meets Karen and agrees to kill Frank. He says he just needs the money and is not doing this for love or anything else. When Dill comes home, the same unknown man we've seen several times in the film is there to meet him. He brings a device that can help Dill catch the tuna fish he has been dreaming of catching for so long. The man offers this device to Dill for free. The man accidentally lets slip. "This is the rule of the game, and I am the rule." Hearing this, Dill finds it strange and suspicious. He threatens the man and demands, "Tell me, who are you?" The man, whose name is Reed, reveals that none of this is real. It is just a game. The rule of the game is that no one will die here. You are a character, and you have to catch that tuna fish. Dill doesn't believe his words, but he has always been suspicious of this place. He couldn't remember when or how he came here, or how long he had been here. The audience realizes that this game was probably designed by his son, Patrick. Reed says that for the past few days, there have been glitches in the game, meaning the person who created this game probably wants you to kill that man, Frank. But according to my rules, killing anyone on this island is forbidden. That's why I came to tell you the rules, and I don't know why the person who created this game is changing the rules. Dill finds his words absurd. The next morning, Dill notices that he cannot wake up before his alarm clock, which suggests he might actually be in a game. Everywhere he goes, he hears the same thing. Go and catch that fish. Dill tries to remember why and when he came to this island, but he finds no such memory in his mind. He gets into his car and drives far away, and now he begins to feel that all of this is not real. He was talking to himself when Diana's son Samson comes to meet him. He says, "Did you need someone? Can I work with you?" Dill laughs at this and says, "When I asked for you from this game, you were not available, and now this game is giving me everything." Dill drives away. To remove his doubt, he starts asking some questions to the store owner, but she always changes the subject. Then Dill tries to call to find out whether Reed is real or not. He gets the answer that Reed is real. Fed up with everything, Dill goes to the bar for a drink, but the bartender also tells him the same thing. He says, "Aren't you going fishing today? You should go to work. Don't take tourists, they are always a bother." This means the game's rules were telling him not to kill Frank, but Patrick had something else in mind. On the other side, it is shown that when Karen opened her eyes, she found Frank wounded in the bathroom. 6 people had beaten him up last night. This was actually Duke's doing. He had paid some people to beat up Frank so he wouldn't be able to come on the boat today. Dill is very angry about this. Despite being wounded, Karen convinces Frank to go fishing. Dill was sitting disappointed by the seashore when Reed comes to him. Dill says, "I don't understand anything about why I'm here, what the purpose of my life is, or whether I've gone mad." Reed says, "I don't know about that either, but I know what's happening here. We are all someone's dream, and only the one who created us knows about us, and maybe you know who that is." Dill says, "Yes, he is a small child sitting in a dark room watching us. His stepfather keeps beating his mother. Perhaps that's why he created this game, hoping that one day he could bring his real father back and teach his stepfather a lesson. He wants me to give him justice no matter what." Reed says, "If that's what you want, then I will break the rules of the game. If our creator wants this, then you should do it." Karen brings Frank onto the boat. Dill runs toward his boat. Actually, Patrick had created a game where he could spend time with his father. But as the stepfather's torture increased, the fire to kill him also grew in Patrick's heart. Patrick just wanted a sign that killing Frank was not wrong. So he allowed Dill to think for himself, so Dill could listen to his heart. And whatever Dill decided, Patrick would do the same. This is why the game kept reminding him to just catch the fish. Dill reaches the boat where Frank and Karen are already present. Dill takes Frank out to sea. Frank was already in very bad shape, and Karen had also kept him sedated. Just then, they realized that Samson is also on the boat, who could spoil their plan. But in the end, when Dill hands the rod to Frank, the shark pulls him into the sea, and Frank meets his end. In the real world, Patrick, Dill's son, actually kills his stepfather, Frank. We understand that Dill's real life had ended with death, and what is in the game are just Patrick's thoughts. After this murder, Patrick is kept in a mental hospital. In the game, we see Karen saying goodbye to Dill. Dill had set the condition of accepting Patrick. Dill knows it's just a game. Then Karen cries and says, "Someday, you will surely meet him." Then Karen disappears from there, and Dill gets a phone call. Patrick is on the other end of the call. Hearing his voice, Dill becomes emotional. Patrick says, "I have done something very wrong." Dill consoles him. "Whatever you did for the best." Patrick says, "I will make some changes in the game so I can meet you." Dill is very happy and says, "I will wait for you." After the call disconnects, Dill sees that everything around him is changing, and in the next moment, we see that Patrick is also in the game. He is running toward the boat to meet Dill. Dill is overjoyed to see him. They both embrace. Even if it is in the game, Patrick is with his father, and the film ends right here. This story portrays the love between a father and son. The absence of a father is felt most deeply by those whose fathers are no longer in this world.